Listen on radio, smart speakers, and our free mobile app, WSKO Syracuse. A Cumulus Media station, the voice of the Central New York sports fan. The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, right here on the Score 1260, your home for local sports in Syracuse. We got a good show for you today. The unofficial co-host of the show is back, Josh Boehme. Josh, how we doing?
Howdy, howdy.
Glad to have you back. I was trying to say great to have you back, glad to have you back. Who knows? It's 11 a.m. It's early, you know.
For some, sure.
For some. It's early for some. Real good show for you today. No guests, so we're going to have open phone lines, 315-671-1260. Feel free to chime in at any point of the show. And few things to talk about. We got Brianna Stewart starting this new 3-on-3 WNBA counterpart thing. I believe it's going to be in the off season of the WNBA, so these players don't always have to play overseas. She's doing that with Nafisa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx. I want to talk about Bernhard Langer winning his 46th senior tour event. And of course, it was the U.S. Senior Open. He wasn't going to do it at the Dicks. That's it's small potatoes for Bernhard. He's like, I need it to be a major.
Oh, yeah.
And he wins by 3 strokes. He was absolutely dynamite the entire tournament. I watched a fair bit of that. He was red hot. So we're going to talk about that quite a bit today. We're going to talk a little bit about Syracuse basketball, Boehme's Army as well coming up. I was trying to get Sean Belby on the show this week. Didn't work out, but maybe next week I would like to talk to Sean and get the lowdown on Boehme's Army this year. Really interesting squad. They're no longer just SU guys, so there's quite a few guys that didn't go to SU that are on the team, but have played in the tournament before and won the tournament before. Okay. So really interesting roster breakdown. We can get into that a little bit later. And then there's a kid from Beeville who is going into the MLB draft. I believe first round of the draft is today. The draft takes place all weekend. It's either today or tomorrow. I don't remember. I'll double check that. And his name is Jason Savacool.
Okay.
Went on to Maryland after his time at Baldwinsville.
Is he a position player?
Pitcher.
Oh.
And won Big Ten Pitcher of the Year as a sophomore. The kid is absolutely nasty.
Is that good?
Pretty good. Pretty good if you're the conference pitcher of the year as a sophomore. So we're going to talk about his draft prospects and much, much more on the show today. Like I said, phone lines open for the entirety of the show, 315-671-1260. That's 315-671-1260. Quick timeout, and we'll get into all of that stuff and much, much more right here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
If you're pulled over on the weekend, most attorneys won't answer. A long time ago, I discovered I'm in the now business. Pulled over Friday night, you want help now, not Monday morning. And when
he's
you hear
screwing
the
us.
word appreciate
He
as
found
often
him.
as I
He
do,
found umpire scorecards.
That the Brewers got an extra 1.47 runs. That he was, his consistency was 89%.
Yeah.
Oh God, you found it.
Pat says, "Don't let me get hot and call in."
Come on, Pat.
Come on, Pat.
Come
on, Patty.
Come on, Patty. You got this. Get angry. What is he hot about? It's early. Pat was killing it on the tweeter this week.
Oh, he was going nuts.
He had a couple good ones.
Yeah.
Let me go see which one really got me.
The old Bird app is still alive and well, my friend.
Oh, yeah. The Biden one. This actually rules now?
Yeah.
Mark's back. This is illegal for Hunter driving around with the...
Yeah. Wait, this is illegal?
Yeah. He's the one who showed me the tweet of the 8-year-old dying in the martial arts instructor thing that caused me to then quote tweet it myself with my own Seinfeld thing. Pat was a fire week on Twitter for Pat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A great week on Twitter for Pat.
Got a little too serious though with the thing about certain people becoming 26 and living in their parents' home and whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, take it easy, Pat. You know, a lot of people.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, take it easy.
He,
What's he saying?
he said, "I'm literally honored." Oh, we got a phone call.
90% chance it's bad.
Outside the box score. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Jamie, I'll throw you on hold. All right.
Jamie the FedEx.
Jamie, the FedEx guy. It's not Pat. Pat said in chat, it's not me.
I don't get. So a lot of people are giving Wimbledon crap because they had that curfew the other day and they stopped matches, probably ruining Andy Murray and
yeah, that was tough.
But they were like, yeah, this would never happen in Australia. And I'm like, Australia? What about when people complained last year that Tsitsipas and Sinner and Alcaraz went until like 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Like the U.S. don't care. I mean, that's fun, which almost is a little too much because like there's nobody. There's like maybe 1,000 people in the crowd watching this massive quarterfinal match.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Let's hop over to the phone lines. We've got the one, the only Jamie the FedEx guy chiming in. Jamie, what's going on?
Mark, how you doing today? You got to keep up the representation. And I had to call in first because I'm sure Bill will call you today if it's open phone lines the whole show.
We do have open phone lines the whole show, so it wouldn't surprise me if Bill called in.
Yes, I had to beat him to the punch. But, Mark, surprise, surprise, Novak Djokovic in week number 2 of Wimbledon. Looks like he's going to get that with ease.
Yeah, it looks like it. We've actually got it on in the studio right now, Josh and I. Josh is a big tennis guy.
Oh, yeah.
We were watching the Alcaraz Jerry match right now. It's been a fun Wimbledon. I didn't see Jamie. Is your guy still in it? Is Casper still around?
No, he got upset, and then, of course, the guy that upset him lost his next match.
Oh, that's right. I did
Brody,
see. Yeah, Brody. I did see that.
They always do that.
Yeah.
They put those no-name British people. He's a wild card. They put him on center court, have everyone and their mother rooting against the top 5 player in the world.
Yep.
They do this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, use the advantage what you got, I guess. Home field's for a reason, but yeah, it was a tough atmosphere for Casper.
But it was a pretty brutal losing, getting bageled in the fifth, 6-0, brutal.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's tough.
And then, hey, Mark, one question for you. For me, growing up, if I could be one professional athlete sport because of, the money that these guys get these days, I would, and you're going to like this, I would like to have been a Major League Baseball pitcher. When I was a young kid, I did majors, I did minors, but then I went into tennis rather than sticking to baseball pitching. I could have went into seniors. I could have tried out for the high school team, and I didn't. So I'd like to rewind the clock and go down that path, see what I would have materialized into. Because my first coach, Carl Putzler, said I reminded him of Dizzy Dean the way I pitched.
First of all, what a comparison. What a wild comparison to give to a little leaguer. Yeah, you're the next Dizzy D. That's unbelievable. Second, in terms of money, I think the way to go now is go back in time and learn how to shoot basketball, Jamie. I mean, the money these guys are getting right now. We got Tyrese Halliburton getting $260 million. I know that, some of these guys are making 43, 45 million in baseball, but whoo-wee, some of these basketball contracts now are really wild. And yeah, but I think that would be, we should get you a time machine and we'll get old Dizzy Jamie back on the bump, and we'll see how you do against some bigger competition.
Yeah, sounds good to me. And you guys have a great weekend. And it's nice to know that there's more than just 2 tennis fans in the world. There's more than just me and the man-child. There's me, man-child, Mark, and Josh. Was it your co-host?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's a big tennis guy.
All right, cool. Maybe I can talk some tennis with you sometime, off there, because I love talking tennis.
Sounds good.
Absolutely, Jamie. Have a good weekend. All right.
Bye.
There he is, Jamie the FedEx guy. I figured he was going to talk some tennis.
Yeah,
he's
when in Rome.
Yeah, well, he is the tennis guy that calls into the Man-Child show, and now this show, Outside the Box Score. And you can call in if you want as well.
Mm-hmm.
Open phone lines the rest of the show, 315-671-1260, if you want to chime in. Yeah, John. While we're on the subject of it, it's just Joker, right?
Probably. I mean, yeah, it's hard to really root against them. It's funny because they all have their, the joke with the big three is they all have their unique courts where they excel on. Djokovic and the Australian, the hard court there. U.S. Open's been kind of a smorgasbord for people for a while, but he's just taken 2 now. He has the Australian, and he's got 7 Wimbledon titles too. I think. I mean, he's just
is it that many?
I think it's 7.
Wow.
Or 6. I mean, it's high again. He's chasing Fed there, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a freak. That's really what it is. Wawrinka played one really good set against him yesterday. I thought it was going to be closer as their old foes, but he's just too good. He's just too good. Sinner has a pretty easy road to the semis. Like because Casper was going to be in his, Fritz was there. He was going to have a tougher quarter, but he should walk right into the semis, and then we'll see from there. So I think he's the second guy, and I like Big Foe. If you root for
love Big Foe,
he's got a tough Bulgarian today in Dimitrov, but if you can get through him, we're looking forward.
He's got a tough Bulgarian.
Yeah, no, but tough.
Big Foe is, of course, one of my favorites from us watching him in the U.S. Open a couple years ago. That was an absolute riot. We're gonna go back to the phone lines, and it is the one, the only, needs no introduction. It's Pat.
What is going on, fellas?
Hey, Pat, great to talk to you as always. What's on your mind?
How we doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. I'm doing fantastic.
Dude, I'm loving this new dynamic on the show. It's my 2 favorite Syracuse sports media professionals, dude.
That's quite the word.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say one of us is. Josh is.
I'm unemployed.
Yeah, he's unemployed. He just does
you're
this.
A sports media professional, dude.
I'll put that on my resume now.
Yep. That's my Instagram bio because that's what he always calls me. My Instagram bio just says sports media professional.
I can't hype you up anymore?
Oh, of course you can. I'll take it. I'll gladly take it.
What do you mean? You had Frank the Tank on this show, Mark. What are you talking about?
I did have Frank the Tank on. I had you and Frank the Tank back-to-back weeks. That's how this show has gone.
Oh my God, the weight limit in that studio, man, it was ridiculous. Because Dom was with me too.
Yeah, Big Dom was here. That was I mean, the floor is still intact, which is good.
Jeez. A lot going on there, man. But what is going on, guys? Well, so you were talking about Boehme's Army, and I am a little like, I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on Boehme's Army because it kind of takes the shine out of it that it's not all Syracuse guys anymore. Do you not disagree?
It's interesting because part of it is I would like it to be all Syracuse guys, but realistically, we're getting to the point where how many of them can we really get that are going to really make a difference if this team wants to win? But you are a Syracuse alum. You do qualify.
They didn't give me a call.
Were you at? Yeah, you weren't asked.
They didn't give me a call. They just text me, man. I would have came home.
This guy, they don't realize that Pat is a CYO basketball legend here in Syracuse, New York.
Oh, dude, I'm a legend in the halls of St. Patrick, dude. But it's crazy. I was scrappy, dude.
You always a scrappy player. But in terms of the guys that they got, like DeAndre Kane, who's been on the team before, and Jameel Wilson, Matt Morgan, at least they're, some of them are somewhat tangentially. Like Matt Morgan went to Cornell instead of Syracuse. like BJ Johnson went to Syracuse, but he also went to LaSalle, so it's like he's not entirely.
Given the tough departure this year, is there any chance that Joe Girard comes back and dominates for Boehme's Army
in the future?
I mean, assuming he doesn't make
no
he's done with
chance.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, you're hitting a tough point right here, man. I hate Joe Girard. I've been on this show very clear in my thoughts on Joe Girard.
Yeah,
that's the type of guy.
Also, when you were talking about my Twitter earlier, that was my best tweet ever. Actually, my Joe Girard tweet when he announced his transfer.
Yep, that was a great one.
With the who want me meme.
Yeah.
His list of teams was like 70 different teams. Like,
it was every team in Division I.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll either go to Clemson, Pitt, Oregon, UMass, Bama. It was every team you could imagine was on his list of potential teams to go to.
He's like one of those guys in middle school that used to be like, I talked to so many girls, so they all go to different schools.
She's from Canada.
Yeah, she's from Canada.
You wouldn't know her.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't know her.
But I will say about going back to Boehme's Army, they have a Boehme. Jimmy is on the team, so that immediately makes it much cooler.
The worst Boehme.
Well, yeah, but he's not as good as Buddy. It's fair to say. I mean,
Buddy. I mean, Jamie's pretty good, man.
Jamie was good. U of R. She went to the University of Rochester. I actually called one of her games. The U of R was playing Oswego, and I was doing play-by-play for the women's basketball team. And all of a sudden, no. But I'm looking at the roster, and I'm like, oh, we got a Boehme on this. That's fantastic. And Julie was in town as well for the game. Julie was in the crowd. So, what were you saying, Pat?
Look at you, sports media professional. Just calling all these games. Are you gonna call games like pretty soon, or are those days behind you?
I will say at some point this year I'll be back in the Syracuse Mets booth.
Don't let them get hot.
I've talked to Michael and Evan about it. I'll be back in the Syracuse Mets booth doing some color, some play-by-play at some point this season. Probably later on in the season, just doing fill-in like I did last year. But hoping to get back to calling games in the next couple of years. I would like to go back to doing that. But hey, this whole talk thing sort of suits me. I don't know, man.
Sports media professional.
Sports media professional. Pat, anything else on your mind?
No, I was just to close out. I think my ideal job would to be what Bill Burr does for the Red Sox network, where he just like kind of drops in and calls a game here and
It's fantastic.
I think I would love that, dude.
Josh, have you heard Bill Burr do any Sox games?
No.
Oh my God, it's so funny. He just every once in a while, if the Sox are in a bad skid, to get people to watch the game, they'll get Bill Burr in the booth.
What an ultimate call!
He's nuts, man. It's so funny.
He's the best, man.
He's the best. Well, Pat, thanks for calling in. I'll talk to you soon, all right, pal?
For sure. Later, guys.
See you, Pat.
See you, Pat. There he is, Pat Burke.
I gotta have Pat ghostwrite my resume. Sports media professional.
You should.
Pat, hit me up. Let's get going.
We got a question from Jim in the Twitch chat. He said, we've heard SU with Judah and JJ, possibly one of the best backcourts in the country. Would the same have been said if it was Judah and Girard? No. We already had that. It wasn't that good.
Yeah, I mean, even if Girard stayed, he wouldn't have started, right? I mean, if it was JJ and Girard, you think so?
Yeah.
Over Judah?
I think no. They would have gone 3 guards.
Oh,
so
Benny gets screwed in that.
They would have gone small ball. If Girard stayed, the starting lineup probably would have been Girard, Judah, JJ, Benny, and maybe Malik Brown.
That's so small. That is so
it's
small.
It's really small.
That's 4 guards, man. I mean, Benny's
Benny's 6'7".
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Benny's 6'7". He's
big.
A
true forward.
Yeah, he's a true forward. Jim says, we've heard the claims about how, quote, great Girard is. Listen, Girard was a solid player for Syracuse. There's no doubting it. He was a solid scorer for 4 years. Well, 3 years. His freshman year, he was a freshman. But for 3 years, he was a solid scorer. He was a good shooter, an inconsistent shooter, but a good shooter nonetheless, if you look at the percentages.
Sure.
The expectations for Joe Girard were much too high coming into Syracuse. And I am guilty of this because when you get the guy who is the all-time leading scorer in New York State history, who went to the same high school as Jimmer Fredette and broke all of his shooting records,
you can't help but get a little excited.
You're expecting Jimmer Fredette, who when he was at BYU was one of the most dynamic players in the country. There's a reason he's my favorite non-SU college basketball player of all time.
Yep.
He was watching Jimmer Fredette in that, 08 tournament, I think.
Jacking threes.
It was he's pulling up from half court. And people talk about Steph Curry at Davidson, and Steph was unbelievable.
Yep.
Jimmer was taking those shots before Steph was.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't called Steph range. It was called Jimmer range.
Yep.
And so the expectations were way too high. Jim says solid isn't, quote, great the way the media proclaimed Girard, almost irreplaceable. LOL, LOL. Yeah, I
think he gets a little too much love, but I think it's to almost protect him because I think a lot of people in local Syracuse don't like him based off of he was a great scorer, like you said, but the total game aspect of it was lacking. Yeah, for sure.
He gets it's weird. Joe Girard simultaneously, one side of Syracuse fans loves him and is like, we respect Joe Girard. He's the player that we thought he was going to be. And the other side hates him.
Yep.
I'm somewhere in the middle. Joe Girard frustrated me, but I can also appreciate what he did for the team. And the thing that got me was he's not a point guard.
No, he's a shooting guard.
He's a shooting guard. But when you're listed at 6'1", he's not 6'1". I've met him. I've stood right next to him. We're the same height. I'm 5'10". He's not 6'1". He might be 5'11" on a good day. If 5'11" is
basketball shoes add a couple inches.
In Jordans, he might be 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's not 6'1". Is the dislike due to the media salivating over Girard? I think the dislike is due to the expectations Syracuse fans had coming in. That wasn't even just the sports media.
Yeah. It probably doesn't help that he was the best player on a team that didn't do much. I mean, he took over right after your last Final Four run, basically, and Syracuse, you just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
There was no, so he's like the face of mediocrity in Syracuse.
He is.
I mean, it's bad look for him, but again, he was good at what he did for the most part for a couple of years, but
that is part of it too. Is Syracuse right now these past few years has been on a stretch that Syracuse hasn't really seen. Just mediocre basketball, which is something that under Jim Boehme this team never really did. Even their worst years, they were 7 games over 500
and making tournaments
and they might miss the tournament, but that was just because the committee has always hated Syracuse. I stand by that.
There's a long history of bias.
Syracuse has been screwed out of the tournament so many times it's not even funny. But Jim also said, or the dislike due to an actual point guard being run off to Seton Hall. That didn't help. Having JG3 and Kadari, and Boehme just straight up saying to Kadari Richmond, you're not going to start. And Kadari hasn't been outstanding at Seton Hall by any means.
No.
He's been good. He's had some really good performances.
Yep.
But it's interesting because he went to Seton Hall and became the guy that was sort of the opposite of what Syracuse fans thought we were getting with him. He wasn't that pass first guy at Seton Hall. He was taking a lot of shots. He was, trying to run that offense. And, that's Syracuse wanted, the guy to distribute, the guy to, and I don't know if we have that still.
Yeah.
As much as I love Judah Mintz, and I think J.J. Starling's an absolute stud, and I like Chance Westry, and I like Cole Cuff, the kid from Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
We got, transfer from Kansas. I'll take that any day of the week. I really like the backcourt at Syracuse right now. It's depth-wise could be one of the best backcourts in the country.
Yep.
Who's that guy? Who's the distributor? Who's the guy that's going to come off the bench, get you 5 assists, play really good defense? I don't know who it is yet. Yeah. And we've still got a long time until basketball season, so we'll figure it out eventually.
Yep.
But I still don't know if Syracuse has that guy, and that sort of worries me. Because if you think about the great Syracuse teams from recent years,
unselfish basketball,
we had those guys. Yeah. We had at least one of those guys. At one end, it was Michael Carter-Williams, who wasn't a scorer, and he was a great defender and a rebounder and a passer. And then when he scored, it was like, okay, that's a great bonus.
Who am I thinking of, Mark? 2016 run. Tyler Johnson, is that his name? The white kid, the point guard, shooting guard?
It's
or Eric something?
I mean, if you're thinking of Eric Devendorf, that was
no.
2008.
Yeah, no, I'm wrong with that. Tyler something, right?
Tyler Lydon.
Yeah,
he was a forward.
Yeah,
he was like 6'9", power forward type player. Shoot the lights out. Really, really good player at SU. Should have stayed another year before going into the draft. I swear Syracuse has more undeserving one and dones and two and dones than any other school.
They made up for it because Dolce stayed for 10 years. That's how they make up for it. I swear that kid was here for a decade.
Mark Dolce is one of my favorite players ever. I love that guy, dude. He was 6'10", $175, soaking wet. I mean,
the closest thing to Victor Wembanyama that Syracuse has ever seen.
And just the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah.
He really was. I mean, talk about a hustle player. Loose balls, Dolezaj's got. He's grabbing 10 boards a game over guys that are 3 inches taller and 60 pounds heavier. He's just going right over. I love Marek Dolezaj.
That Eastern European attitude.
Yeah, man. He really, I wish,
I wish he had an 8th year eligibility.
I think he only played 4 years here. I really do.
It felt like 4.
I think, that's we're gonna take a break, but I'm gonna look up quickly Marek Dolezaj, how long he played at Syracuse. He's still only 25, which is wild to me.
He started at 16 at Syracuse. Okay.
Yeah, he played 4 years.
That's it?
Yeah.
I swear that guy was here longer. It feels like it.
You know who I thought was at I'm gonna have to think of his name. Oh God. The Michigan State guard, Cassius Stanley.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I swear Cassius Stanley played with Magic Johnson. I mean, this guy was at Michigan State for 30 years.
Well, his first year was with Draymond's last year.
He's the only player in college sports history to play with Magic Johnson, Draymond Green.
He played 3 decades.
Yeah, 3 decades. It's like that kid now who's in transfer portal who's like 28 years old and playing for his 9th team. Don't understand how that happens.
Stop playing.
Yeah, just hang him up.
Clean up at schools or something. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what kind of scam this kid's running.
Oh God! All right, we're gonna take a break. Jim actually had an interesting question that we're gonna talk about after the break. We're gonna talk about a little bit during the break as well, because I do think it's really interesting. And reminder, if you do want to hear our conversations during the break, you can check out the Score 1260's YouTube channel or my personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/box_score_WSKO. That's where Jim watches. And we got a video feed. You'll hear our conversations during breaks. Real great behind-the-scenes look at the radio show. So if you want to check those out, feel free to do so. Like, comment, subscribe, all of those good things. Also, phone lines are open, 315-671-1260 if you want to chime in anytime during the rest of the show here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse.
At the Home Depot, we'll get your kitchen clicking with savings on top brand appliances like a new LG CounterDepth Max refrigerator with ultra-large capacity on the inside and a seamless look on the outside. Or an LG oven with built-in air fryer for crispier, healthier cooking. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away too. Final days to get special buy savings plus up to $1,000 off select kitchen appliances like this exclusive LG kitchen package at the Home Depot. Ends July 12th.
All right. So, Jim, this is a really interesting question. So we're actually, we'll talk about it during the actual show.
What's the question?
It's which local story will get more publicity? Kevin Roy being like 5th in the John Deere Classic right now, which we should talk about that as well, just on its own. Or Buddy Boehme playing in a summer league game.
I mean, we know which one it is.
And sadly, I think we know which one it is. But
are the Pistons in the summer league thing? Are they all in the?
Yeah, every team plays summer league. I watched, caught a little bit of Victor last night. He's interesting. I had to see where Kevin is.
He stunk.
Yeah.
He stunk. And he did you hear the quote? He said, I just didn't know what I was doing out there.
Yeah. It's
a little weird. I mean, we talked about it. Could he be a bust?
Yeah,
and it's not. It's one game.
It's his summer league debut. He's 19 years old, and he's got to get used to the NBA. Like
I did see someone tweet like Dennis Rodman's love child or something, because whoever was guarding him had like weird hair or whatever. He's like, that kid just bullied him. Like, he went down low, got squashed. He scored 8 points. Like, I don't know. He just looked weird. It also didn't look like he was playing his ball. Like a lot of backing down, and like all the highlights I saw of him was like in open space, dribbling and shooting, like almost playing like a forward. I think Pop just doesn't want that.
Well, Pop's got to learn how to use it. I mean, like he'll get there. I mean, Greg Popovich is the greatest coach in NBA history.
Yeah,
outside of maybe Phil Jackson, but like he's one of the great coaches in NBA history. He'll figure out how to use a unicorn. Like it just takes time. I hate overreacting to this. Like,
let's call him a bust, Mark. Hit the mics. Let's do it.
And like Scoot Henderson like went off last night, and it's like, I mean, so what? He's 6'1" and doesn't know how to shoot. Yeah, he should be good, but he can't shoot yet. So,
I saw someone the other day was like, I told.
12-month special financing available all summer long. Adirondack Furniture, where your style comes home.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. I'm joined by my good friend Josh Boehme as well. Phone lines open today, 315-671-1260. That's 315-671-1260. Really interesting question from Jim in the old Twitch chat. He asked, which local in quotes, but these are two local people, which local story gets more publicity later? Kevin Roy trying to win a PGA tournament or Buddy Boehme playing in a summer league game? Now, sadly, it's Buddy.
Yep.
More people will care about Buddy Boehme playing in the summer league than they will about Kevin Roy. But here's the thing.
I didn't even know Kevin Roy was in the top 5.
Kevin Roy is currently tied for 5th at the John Deere Classic. 10 under par. He's 3 strokes behind Cameron Young.
Wow.
Yeah. Which Cam Young went 65-64 the first 2 days. But Kevin shot 63 yesterday.
Oh.
Which, from what I can tell, I'm just scrolling the leaderboard right now, is, that's tied for the low round of the tournament.
Where's the John
Deere? Jonas Blick shot a 62 on Thursday. Never mind. The John Deere is in Texas. Okay. TPC Deere Run is the name of the course. And
makes sense.
Yeah, there's a few guys tied for 5th. There's 4 of them. Kevin's currently tied with Denny McCarthy, who we've seen win a tournament this year. William Mao, who I've never heard of. And Ludvig Aberg, who I believe that's a Swedish flag. Is that Sweden, the blue one with the yellow,
Ludvig?
Yeah, Ludvig Aberg.
Good job.
Yeah, I mean, that's what
I'll say it's right.
Sounds right. I think it's right. But Kevin, he's had some really, really solid finishes this year. He is yet to win. But in just his second tournament, he finished top 30. That was the Honda Classic back in February. He finished 29th in that one at PGA National, which is a beautiful course.
Oh, the Bear Trap.
Yeah, at the Bear Trap.
Pops played that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. And at the Mexico Open in April, he finished 18th. Took home a nice little $98,000 paycheck.
He's taking advantage of that tour card so far. Good
yeah,
for him.
He's
I didn't realize he was having a decent year.
Yeah, he's missed a few cuts. It looks like I think he's missed a cut in like half of his tournaments so far.
So even if you have a tour card, he still has to qualify for majors. Is that right? Like, has he been in a major yet?
No, he has not played in a major yet.
Okay.
He hasn't even played in the designated events. You have to qualify for those now.
Oh,
with the new, since they have the $20 million purses or whatever,
sure.
It's a lot harder to get into those. So he didn't play in like the players.
PGA won't ever just give out free cash.
No, God no. Well, I mean, they kind of do now because, Kevin.
Well, he makes a minimum salary.
Yeah, he
right?
makes a minimum salary now, and which is great. This guy is grinded so hard, and he's 30 years old, and he's finally on tour for the first time.
He come from the Corn Ferry Tour, right?
Yes, he finished top 25 like in the Corn Ferry Tour rankings last year, which is, how you move up. If you finish in the top 25, you automatically move up to the PGA Tour. You get your tour card for a year. And I would love to see him make a run and, really finish well at this tournament. This is a course that, guys tend to eat up a little bit. It's not a super long course. It's interesting. Not a lot of driver holes on this course. A lot
Too
of
short.
Yeah, well,
guys?
not even too short. Just the layout. There's like quite a few dog legs, and the fairway runs out,
Gotcha.
fairly quickly and stuff like that. It's a really interesting layout of course, and so for a guy like Kevin, who hits the ball plenty far enough, don't get me wrong, but he's not Rory or
Sure.
but he hits the ball far. But this is a scoreable course, and Kevin makes a lot of birdies. He has in all of his tournaments made a really, really good number of birdies.
A lot of bogeys into it, I take it.
There's a lot of shapes on his scorecard. That's what my dad and I like to say. It is fun, but at the same time, you just want, and I've talked to his father about this multiple times, Jim Roy, who I work with over at Bellevue, and, recently he tried to qualify for the Dick's Sporting Goods Open, actually. It's still a tremendous golfer, Jim. I mean, he's unbelievable. His first round back at Bellevue this year, it was the day after he came back from Florida in mid-June. He's actually down in Florida right now. I believe it's Kevin's brother or sister just had a child.
Oh, okay.
So congratulations to the Roys. But he's back down in Florida right now. But his first round back at Bellevue, he just like shot a 70.
Yeah,
Just like 1 under in his first round on the course for the season, and then he played in the CNY Open, which is like a local CNY PGA event.
Okay.
36-hole event. 7 under. Second place.
Jesus. I mean, some guys just got like that. He's an old man too, or an older man.
Yeah, Jim is
He's a father of a grown man, so I imagine he's.
Yeah, I want to say he's close to 60.
Good for him.
I could be wrong. I'm gonna see if I can. Yeah, he's 63. 63, wow. And he just finished second in a CNY PGA event.
Damn.
And he's absolutely
wish I'm striping the ball like that when I'm 60.
Oh, we never will. No. But yeah, like I said, in his first round, he shot a 2 under 69, and he made 4 birdies. He had 2 bogeys in there. No bogeys yesterday for Kevin, but he is the type of guy that he'll make just a couple of silly bogeys, and that's really what's stopping him from really competing in these events every single week.
Is he gonna need like a top 5, a top 10 to get that tour card for next year? Or how does that work?
I believe so.
Is it based on FedEx Cup ranking, or how's that work?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know exactly how guys keep their tour card, because like I know Ricky almost lost his, prior to
really.
Yeah, when he was like really down in the mouth for a couple of years, he was damn close to losing his tour card, and but he never did. He might have even lost like the full tour one, but it's Ricky Fowler. They're going to give him sponsor. Well, they're going to give him sponsor exemptions every single week because it's Ricky Fowler. He's everyone's favorite golfer.
Right.
Which, by the way, so happy.
What a way to do it too. Playing into the playoff.
Yeah.
Birdie on 18.
Mm-hmm.
Birdies it again to win it.
Yeah.
Right after.
I was so happy. And speaking of, mentioned it earlier, Bernhard. The ageless wonder does it again. He's 65 years old, U.S. Senior Open. It's so happy for him. He was so nice to me when we, were together at the Dick's Sporting Goods Open. Really great guy. Couldn't be happier for him. Now officially the GOAT of senior golf. 46 wins on the senior tour. See ya, Hale.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, Irwin. But really happy for him. And like I said, really happy for Kevin Roy, who's done pretty well in his PGA Tour debut. I just wanted to look. There was a round I was thinking of. I'm trying to see if I could get the scores from it, but I don't think I can right now. At the Mexico Open, when Kevin finished 18th. One of his rounds, I think it was the 65 he shot. He shot 65 in the third round. And Pat says the Patrick Harrington disrespect is wild. I love Patrick. Absolutely love him. He's got a lot of time to go before he even comes close to Bernhard's numbers right now.
Yeah.
But I have I love Patrick Harrington.
Mark's a strong Irish man.
He said Irish erasure. I will not take this from you, Pat. But that 65 he shot. I think he had 4 bogeys. And he shot a 65. Like he's stuff like that. It was like 3 bogeys and a double or something like that. Just he makes so many birdies.
Yep.
And it looks like he's starting to put it all together with that 63 he shot yesterday, bogey free. But I hope he can go on a run, and I would love to see Kevin Roy end up winning this tournament. And I believe that would secure him back on tour next year. I think if you win a tournament, no matter what it is, you'll get back on tour next year.
Come on, Kevin.
And so let's go, Kevin. Everyone around here should be rooting for Kevin Roy.
But ultimately, when Buddy Boehme scores 6 points tomorrow night, that's the story.
That's the story, and it sucks because as much as I love Buddy, I believe it's a 2-year exemption if you win a tour event, Jim. Yeah,
I could.
Yeah, it's 1 or 2. But I'm very much hoping for or rooting for him this week and every week. I try to keep up with when he plays, and he hasn't played an event in a month. He last played at the RBC Canadian Open because he had.
Is that just based on qualifying?
Well, you had the U.S. Open, and then it was a designated event, which the Travelers or whatever it was, right after the U.S. Open, and then, like I said, it's hard for him to get play regularly, and so hopefully, if he can win this, all of a sudden we'll see him next year in the U.S. Open and the Masters and stuff like that. That'd be awesome. That'd be absolutely wild to see a guy from Syracuse playing in the Masters. So we'll see. Wishing all the luck in the world to Kevin Roy and keep making those birdies. We got to take another timeout. Phone line's still open if you want to chime in. 315-671-1260. That's 315-671-1260 if you want to call in here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
At the Home Depot, we'll get your kitchen clicking with savings on top brand appliances like a new LG Counter Depth Max refrigerator with ultra-large capacity on the inside and a seamless look.
Have you ever watched Eubanks play? Have you heard about this kid?
I've heard about him. I don't think I've seen him yet. No.
Austin loves this guy. He's tall, lanky, and he's got a killer serve.
Just built like a tennis player?
Yeah, like an American tennis player.
Yeah, built like an American tennis player.
Yeah, I mean, just tall, thin.
Oh, my. Yeah. How tall is he?
I don't know. Look it up. Chris Eubanks.
Yeah. 6'7".
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, 6'7", $181.
Yeah, just
wiry as hell.
Run through this kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's 27.
Yeah,
I thought he would be younger than that.
He's in the same age. I don't know what it is. He just came on later. Like, I think Foe's younger than him. Corda. Like, I think all those guys are younger. But I don't know. I think Foe's like 26. Corda's definitely younger than that.
Yeah.
The Americans have been pathetic.
They
so far,
dude.
Tommy Paul's in a dogfight, right? He's in a tiebreaker in the 4th set to stay alive.
Americans men's tennis is in trouble.
Yeah. Well, guys like Corda, Corda was also in Sinner's draw.
Yeah.
I mean, just Sinner, Fritz, all these people who fall apart. I mean, Corda's a grass court player.
Yeah.
This is his favorite court.
Yeah.
And you lose in the first round.
Yeah. It's pathetic.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad out of him. Fritz should be embarrassed losing in 5 again. I mean, same thing. I mean,
didn't he lose to a nobody?
No, I mean, Mikey Muir's been around for a while.
Okay.
But
who's the one that lost to Seb Corda, the least talented Corda? Yes.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, the father won an Australian Open.
His mother's a decathlon?
Yeah, I think his mom's a decathlete. And his sisters
are top 10 in the world for golf or
yeah.
whatever. Nelly of which being really good.
Yeah, Nelly is the better one. And then is it Jess?
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's probably Jess. But
yeah,
Seb's up there. Seb's bottom tier.
Yeah, Seb is probably the the worst of the quarters.
Yeah. This is Jim.
Oh, yeah, it's Jim. Oh, Jess is out for the rest of the season. That's not good. I didn't know that.
Did you see the stat about Lexi Thompson's playing the U.S. Open this
Yeah.
weekend in her 15th U.S.
No,
Open?
it's her 17th U.S. Open. She's 28 years old.
That's right.
What the hell?
I don't know how it works. But
She played in her first one when she was 11.
That's crazy. How do you even do that?
She qualified. That's how good she was. I mean, Michelle Wee, who was playing her last U.S., she was 11 when she played in her first one.
Wee doesn't do all the tour. This is just kind of like
This is her swan song.
Yeah.
She never really panned out.
Well, that's what I was thinking about this because I looked her up a couple years ago. Because I remember Michelle Wee.
It was
Rochester
huge.
always held this event. She was one of the biggest names.
Yeah.
She won 3 events.
Yeah, she never really was the golfer that everyone thought she was going to be.
She was fine. I think she won maybe 1 or 2 majors.
Yeah.
In
I think 1, yeah. And we're back as Josh is just rocking out to the music. You like that?
I do. It's a nice beat.
Yeah, I picked that out. It was.
So you made it yourself?
No, I did not make it myself. That's a little too complicated for my liking. I also just don't have professional recording equipment. So
you just said you did.
Yeah, I could have said I did. But yeah, I picked that out when I was first getting the show off the ground. I was like, I want something that fits me, and I feel like that fits. But anyway, welcome back to Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, right here on the Score 1260, your home for local sports in Syracuse. Jason Savacool is a guy that people around here, a name that they should know, went to Baldwinsville High School, Baker High School, then went on to Maryland, won Big Ten Pitcher of the Year. Currently, with the MLB draft this weekend, 199th on MLB.com's draft ratings or rankings, I should say. And the scouting numbers, and this is going to get a little inside baseball here, but,
no pun intended.
No pun intended, but that's just, essentially, baseball scouting is done on a 20 to 80 scale. For whatever it may be. For pitchers, they break down each pitch, control, and then overall.
Okay.
And then for a position player, it's power, hit tool, arm, speed, glove, overall.
Gotcha.
And for Savacool, like I said, so 20 is the low end, 80 is the high end. And there's different ratings for different things. So he's a 4-pitch pitcher. Fastball is currently rated at 45, curveball at 45, slider 50, changeup 50. So 50 is considered plus, not necessarily elite, but those are considered plus pitches, where 45 would be above average. So above average stuff, 50 control. Overall, they say only a 40, which is weird. That he feels like he should be a 50 if he's got 3 50s and 2 45s. 40 seems a little low. But this kid is nasty. I remember when he was at Beeville.
Okay.
And he wasn't throwing as hard. He tops out around 93 now. When he was at Beeville, he was probably topping out 87, 88. He put on some weight when he was some muscle when he was at Maryland.
Okay.
But he's not going to miss a ton of bats. He didn't miss a lot of bats in college. But the sink on his fastball, it is a true old school sinker. I mean, think about the great sinker ballers that you've seen. I mean, like Doc Halladay and Chen Wang. Sure. He was a sinker ball pitcher. He was, but just a true bowling ball.
Yeah.
It just falls off the table. And he lives around, like I say, tops out 93, lives around 90, 91.
Okay.
But with as much movement as he gets, that's
probably looking break in as a reliever then, probably. That makes sense.
I think he could probably be a starter.
Okay.
Because he doesn't throw a ton of four-seam fastballs. When he does, those are the ones that are 93.
Gotcha.
But I could see him being a starter for a couple years in the minor leagues and then, maybe transitioning to a relief pitcher.
Is it crazy, and this could just be my lack of knowledge on the game, that people almost always come out as starters. Is that because of the nerves of like when you come into a jam in the 6th or 7th, they want you to like actually get reps in as like a starter first, or like what's the mindset there?
Well, I mean, every pitcher wants to be a starter, at first, and you can just like some guys do just come out straight as relievers. But it's funny, you think of some of the best relievers of all time. Mariano Rivera was a failed starter. I mean, he stunk as a starting pitcher for the Yankees. He got rocked when he was a starter.
Okay.
And throw him in the bullpen as the greatest closer of all time. Trevor Hoffman was a shortstop.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Did not know that.
He was a prospect with the Reds. He was he was a shortstop prospect for Cincinnati. Yeah, he was a shortstop prospect for Cincinnati, and it was the old what I think they said in Moneyball when talking about Billy Beane when he got he was a great college player and then got to the minor leagues, and they say he's allergic to wood.
Yeah,
that's what Trevor Hoffman could not hit. He was a really good hitter in college or high school, whatever it was, and you put a wood bat in his hand and he was hitting like a $110. And so they were like, "Listen, man, you gotta." And he had a good arm, so they're like, "You got to figure something out." And he was like, "Well, I pitched a little bit in high school, but I was."
DeGrom was a shortstop, right?
DeGrom was a shortstop. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a starting pitcher still,
a little
but
different. Yeah.
He was a really good shortstop. And Trevor Hoffman, greatest reliever to come up small in big spots. Hey, man, he still had 600 saves. No, I'm not reading that, Pat. I'm not.
I'll surely come take a look after.
I'm just not going to read that out. I almost did. And then I finished reading it. No,
no, we will not have
bad, bad, Pat. I mean, Pat'll. I'm Pat. Am I out of my gourd here when talking about Jason Savacool? I know Pat would remember him as well.
You guys played against him?
We missed him by a year, I think. Or no, we would have played against him 1 year. Yeah, I think we would have played against him 1 year, but he I don't know if I remember seeing him in person. That is the thing. Yeah, Pat says he doesn't know if he played against him. Yeah, I think it was when he was a freshman. Would have been when you would have saw him, but like I said, I remember watching him in person at Beeville, and he was just nasty.
That's fun to be like, I played 4 years, never heard of the kid. I don't even know this guy.
He pitched against Connor, Pat's brother, and Connor says he was just lights out. Yeah. So I think he's got a shot. We'll see, but I think that Savacool could do something in the minor leagues and eventually maybe in the big leagues. And then just a quick one here, Brianna Stewart, if we're talking about local athletes, she's starting this new, I believe it's 3-on-3 league, correct, Josh?
3-on-3 and 1v1.
Oh, 1v1 as well.
I think it's both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a dual thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. New league, it's called Unrivaled. It's going to run from January through March. Well, if it gets totally off the ground, it would run from January through March and feature 30 of the top professional women's basketball players on 6 teams, playing games of, there it is, 3-on-3 and 1-on-1 at a sound stage in Miami. Why at a sound?
I don't know.
You can't
get
a court?
Any of this. I mean, I think it's like the grand aspect of the thing.
Yeah.
Whoever gets to pay for it. But even then, I get why to do it. Like you said, you eliminate some players going overseas, obviously, with the grinder thing. It's 30 people.
Yeah.
Half the WNBA still is going to have to go overseas to play and make money.
Do you know what the Supermax salary for the 2023 season WNBA is?
Supermax?
The Supermax.
I mean, it can't. I'm going to look like an idiot for saying any number. So I don't know, $6 million a year. Is that a lot?
234,000.
Yeah, that's way too much. Yeah. Okay.
I knew that they didn't make much money, but 234,000 for the Supermax?
You scoffed at $6 million.
That's wow. I can't believe that. So yeah, but I hope this gets off the ground, and I know it's only 30 players, and
it can grow. Yeah,
it can grow, and it's kind of a cool concept, and these players do deserve more money. They just do. Obviously with how revenue sharing works and TV money and all that stuff, it's hard for them to get more money.
They just got a brand new thing though with I'm watching them on the Roku channel. Mark, somebody's paying for that. What is it, IFN network or whatever?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have their own channel on the Roku channel.
Interesting.
But it's the network, whatever it is. I think it's IFN or something. Who has them? And they broadcast on streaming too. You can get on YouTube TV. I mean, they have streaming deals.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's putting money into this thing. There's only 8 teams. There's got to be enough money to go around. Becky
Hammond.
She's making $1 million a year. The coach.
Yeah, the coach.
She's the highest paid player in the league.
Yeah, she's making much more than all of her players.
That's a crazy dynamic. I get that she could make more as an NBA coach, and keep her here. It's a name, whatever. That's got to be a weird thing to be like, I make more money.
Ion Network.
Ion. Thank you. Was that Jim?
Yeah, it was Jim.
Jim is everywhere.
He's on the money. He's on the money.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, and a lot of the money does come from the NBA. Yeah. They are, actual partner leagues. Yeah. It's not, same with the PGA and LPGA. So a lot of the money comes from the NBA, and I would like to see this do better. Also, there's only 8 teams. I thought there were 12.
I thought there was 8. Look it up.
I could be. Yeah.
I got nothing. All I know, Mark, is that the New York Liberty are rocking.
They are.
Brianna Stewart now and Sabrina.
I'm big fan of her playing for the. There's 12.
Oh, good job. I'm a big fan of Sabrina.
She's great.
She's really great.
Yeah, she. But I'm so happy that Brianna's playing for the Liberty. She's from CNS High School. Play for the New York team. It's pretty cool to see her do that. We got to take one more time out here on Outside the Box Score. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up here on the Score 1260. Yeah, she's from Syracuse.
And they let her go to UConn. They missed her.
Well, she was always going to go to UConn, but she was never going to go to SU.
It's women's ball, yeah.
Yeah, for women's ball, there was no chance she was going anywhere but UConn.
If you're a dude, yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know. By the way, Tommy Paul fights back in the 4th set after nearly blowing it. Up 6-3 in the tiebreaker, wins at 11-9.
Love that.
After saving a set point, match point. Winning back-to-back tiebreakers now, headed to a 5th. How do you not back the American?
You got to back the American.
If you're into that type of thing. Did you realize that the UFC, are you paying this? Are you playing this ad?
Yeah.
They're not paid. They didn't pay.
They'll pay.
They're good for
They
it.
better pay.
That'd be great. They show, Mark, you've been playing those, right? You go, yeah. You go, nice. You go, what?
It's just, yeah.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
Where's
the money? You hug right in.
Trying. Yeah, so Jim's talking about a survey they did of basketball fans. 66% of men have interest in the NBA. 33% women.
That's really low.
Yeah,
that's really low. Oh my god.
Well, it's in terms of a gender split, it's 66-33.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
WNBA, it's 33% for the men, 16% for the women.
Jesus, it's even less for women.
Yeah,
they don't even care about their own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the problems is women don't watch women's basketball. It's a real problem.
Women don't watch sports. That's what nobody wants. Nobody wants you to talk about it.
Well,
they do.
They do, but
they're not a big market.
Yeah,
and they don't care about it. Historically, they've never cared. That's the whole thing. The big Joe, I'm watching the game, honey. Get back.
Yeah.
It's break down the gender roles, but it's not as popular. It's not their thing. I don't think. That's a bad take. I think for most people, sports media professionals ought to watch out when they're saying stuff like that, Pat. But yeah.
And we're back, wrapping up a fun-filled hour here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. I'm not going to say what is making Josh laugh so hard. Quickly, Syracuse has added another game to their upcoming basketball schedule. They're going to play Cornell. That's going to be December 5th at the JMA Wireless Dome. We don't know the full schedule yet, but we do know that they're going to be playing College of St. Rose in an exhibition on November 1st. They are going to play, I believe they're playing LeMoyne this year as well. I could be wrong.
D1 LeMoyne.
Yeah, D1 LeMoyne, but I don't, or no, I'm sorry. It's Colgate I was thinking of. They're trying to actually beat Colgate.
Oh, God. The dreaded Colgate game.
The dreaded Colgate game. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up. We'll see you next week here on Outside the Box Score. Peace.
Unbiased, fan-friendly Syracuse sports coverage on WSKO Syracuse.